guys, welcome back. Thanks very much for joining me today. And yes, we are going to be talking about the newest announcement from Arcade 1-Up, which is the Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I kind of want to call it a legacy cabinet because that's kind of what it is based on the games that they've put out. So yes, this got announced over the weekend. I did want to give it a few days just to allow the hype to die down, and then we'd kind of have a look at what we know about the cabinet, what we like, what we don't like, what we think. You know, that kind of idea. So if we jump over to their website, we can see the bits and pieces that they have up. So this is their main marketing page. As you can see, we've all branded Marvel vs. Capcom 2 New Age of Heroes. Now, if anyone's not familiar or hasn't played this game, it's an amazing game, and it has been, as they've rightly said, it has been locked away for a long time. Marvel and Capcom did not have the best ending to the relationship after Infinite, I think, was the last game that they came out with. There was failings on sort of both parts and things like that, but ultimately Marvel decided that no, we're not happy with continuing on the relationship, so it was ended. And you've got to get both of these guys to agree if you want to do a re-release. This is why it hasn't happened with Xbox, with PlayStation, with Steam. It hasn't been seen in a long time, and now Arcade 1-Up have brought it back. This is the first time a re-release of Marvel vs. Capcom has happened since, I believe they've said 2013. I would have to look that up, but that's probably accurate. I think the last time it was released was the Xbox days, maybe slightly after, but there we have it. It's back, so Freed MVS2 is legit. Now, if we go down, I want to have a look at the various bits and pieces that we know. So looking at the cabinet design itself, the games that are on it, that kind of thing. So I thought we'd start off with the cabinet design themselves. Now, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 did not have a dedicated arcade machine as we sort of know it. This kind of design here. You will find it on Big Blue conversions, a few other stand-up conversions. It was mostly a conversion kit if you want to have it in a shell, sort of like this in the Western style of arcade cabs. Now, I do think it did, because it's a Naomi variant, I do believe it came out mostly in those sort of candy cab the designs. Those are the ones I remember seeing the most when it comes to Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I may have seen a Big Blue variant, although I'm not entirely sure. But definitely the candy cams, like the ones up with NQ64, they would have them in the candy cam variant. And it's still an amazing game. I just think that I don't really like candy cabs. It just... These kind of designs, you can see them from across the room. You know what designs are there. It's, to me, it's a lot better. So yeah. Now, with regards to the artwork, well, like I said, there wasn't a dedicated cabinet, so they didn't have a lot to go on. So the artwork they've taken from like the re-releases and things like that, you know, from the consoles. Now, if we do have a look here, we can see that Zangief is horrified by Hulk's package, which is kind of understandable, I suppose. But yes, yeah. What are you gonna do? We've also got there's the other side of it, which seems to be just the characters in switch positions. Now, I kind of like what they've done here. I know you can criticize me because I didn't like the Yoga Flame or the Shinkai Duken artwork. I still think that artwork is good looking. I just don't think it sits a cabinet. I think this works really well. I think the artwork that they've done here, Spider-Man and I can never remember your wee man's name, sorry. Zangief and Hulk. I think they look really good. The marquee looks fantastic. You've got Cable, Cap, Strider. It looks like a beautiful marquee, and I hope they do it justice. Like the last couple of marquees that they've come out with, like Mortal Kombat 30th, it looked fantastic. I really do hope that they can pull this off again. I know people have given the control panel a bit of a going over, and I kind of get where they're coming from. Like the whole style of the cabinet is the Mortal Kombat one, which I think they have said that this is going to be their default style for this year. They will like the Yoga Flame, the Capcom variants will be in this style. Anything that they release sort of this year will sort of be in that style of cabinet. And I don't know if that is true for the Time Crisis one, because we haven't seen that. We do have like little pictures of Blitz, and it looks like it's a very similar cab design, except with a four-way control deck. So this seems to be what they're going to do going forward, which is perfectly fine. The control deck, it's just the side panels. It looks like a big slab of concrete that they've stuck onto the side of it. And maybe there were cabs that had this sort of design. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's to look like a conversion kit from Big Blue. Let me have a quick look. So kind of Big Blue had that sort of concretey kind of look to it, but then it was blue around the edges, so it flowed into the artwork. Maybe that's what they were going for. I kind of think maybe that it sort of hit the mark a little bit if they had flowed the artwork onto the side panels here, and I don't know, just black at the front. Maybe it would have worked better. That's just my opinion. Anyway, it does look like we're getting a slightly larger cabinet, maybe something similar to Big Blue, because if we look down here, we have the what looks like the extender panels. So this is going to be higher than the ones that we had previously, and I think the Mortal Kombat one did have the extender as well, so it's fitting that it's going to be the same size as those ones. I kind of like that it's going to be risen up a little bit. We go back to the features that they have on the cab. So we've got the molded coin door, which just looks absolutely fantastic. I think a lot of people have put little LEDs behind the coin door, which I think works really, really well. And yeah, I'm very, very, very impressed with what they have there. So I'm optimistic for this cabinet. I think it is going to be quite a good one. Sorry, bear with me 1 second. Something is not working just the way I want it. Okay, I do apologise. There we go. I was meant to have the music running there, but this was me messing around and trying to make another kind of screen for showing off websites and things like that, and I didn't realise that the desktop audio wasn't coming through. Apologies for that. So back to where we were. So yes, we've got a nice looking riser. It's basic, but I like it. The coin door, lovely. We do have the bat tops for this, which I can't honestly remember. I don't think that's right. I think it would be a ball top for most Capcom ones. Am I right? No, I'm wrong. There she is. It is a bat top. Apologies for that. So it's a bat top on my Mortal Kombat one as well. Which ones had the ball tops then for the fighting games? Huh. Anyway, so let's look at the games that they have on here. So we've got 8 games to go through. So Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men Children of the Atom. Now these are all amazing fighting games. My personal favourite, it's going to be Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and Marvel Superheroes is a very close second. I just loved the idea of Thanos being that big boss who could kick your ass just with a snap of the finger, activating one of the Infinity Gems. It was such a great game. My brother had it for the PlayStation, and we played the shit out of that game. I love it, and I'd love to pick that up again. The other games, let's say, yes, I've played Marvel vs. Capcom, played Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I haven't actually played these two, so Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter and X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Be interested to give them a go. I do know that they get highly rated, so that it's good to have them on there as well. X-Men Children of the Atom, I loved that game. That was fantastic. I'm really looking forward to playing that again. Now, you may say, like, what's the point of having these ones? Most people are just going to play it for the marquee title. And that's true, yes. And the other ones are kind of offshoots of them, or older versions of it. That's true. But this is the lineage. Oh, this is why I think it's more of a legacy. Because we have the original releases all the way up to Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And yeah, I really, really am pleased that those 6 games are on here. Now, the other two I find very interesting. So we have X-Men Mutant Apocalypse and Marvel Superheroes in War of the Gems. Now, these aren't, as far as I'm aware, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think these ever had an arcade release. These were console releases, 16-bit console releases. Now, they are side-scrolling beat-em-ups, which is why I'm really pleased to see these two. A lot of people were disappointed that The Punisher has been taken off the games list. Now, they have said that was because that the Punisher game was too violent, and I kind of get that. There's a lot of gun violence in the Punisher game. That's fine. Punisher is a fantastic side-scrolling beat-em-up. If you ever get a chance, play that. These two I've never played. I've never played Mutant Apocalypse, and I've never played War of the Gems, but from what I've seen of them, they look really cool, and I'd really be up for playing these two. I think they look fantastic, and they would fit right in on this cabinet. They've got the theme of it perfect. It's a Marvel, it's a Marvel legacy cabinet, and that's exactly what they're doing with this. They've kept all the games in the right tone. 8 games on it. I think this is going to be really, really cool. Now, it does say here that we have Wi-Fi play, so that's fantastic. We knew it was going to be live enabled. Now, the Mortal Kombat 30th has the Ethernet port in it to give you a bit more of a stable connection. I will assume that this will as well. I know it was asked on their stream, but it didn't get answered. So I mean, it's the same cabinet design, it's the same form factor. So I would assume that they're also going to have an Ethernet port there. Pre-orders start from the 8th of September, and I think they said that they're aiming to ship the first or second week of October. So there's not an awful lot of time to wait on this, which is really good. In regards to the UK, I have no new information on that. I've tried to reach out to both Smiths and Game, and both have come back with the standard response of we can't comment on upcoming releases. So now this may be completely legitimate that they're still in talks with Arcade 1UP, or maybe they're not aware of it, and that the first reveal of this cabinet was the first time that retailers had seen it as well. At the moment, all I know is that it is up for pre-order at Arcade 1UP only. I don't think there's been any announcement in regards to the US and Canadian retailers also stocking this. Now, that may come in the weeks ahead, which it probably will, and I'm hopeful that the UK will follow suit as well, and we'll get some announcement that it'll be up for pre-order. They have said that the price is $599 American, which, if we go by the legacy cabinets at the moment, they were $499 American, and we pay £499. So you're probably looking at a £600 arcade cabinet here, which breaks my heart. That's insane amount of money. Now I do know that there's it's an upgraded chipset in this because it needed to be to run anything Naomi. The chipset that they had in there wasn't capable of it. However, it's also my understanding that the same chipset is in the Capcom Yoga Flame and Senki Hadouken cabinets, which are going for $499. So the rise in price, I'm not sure about. We are getting less games, but they are more demanding games, I would say. The emulation really does need to be spot on, and as I understand, there's still some bugs to be worked out, especially from Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Most of these games, bar the last two, they've had running before on previous cabinets, either the X-Men Street Fighter cabinet or the Marvel Superheroes cabinet. I would hope that they don't have to do too much work to get to bring that across, and most of the work will be just round Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and it'll be a simple emulation for the console ports. So £600 for a cabinet like this, that's a big ask. What are we talking about? So if we're saying $600, you're probably looking at five. If it was a direct, if it was a conversion, it'd be 515, maybe slightly less than that at the moment. I think that's right. That would be a bit easier to stomach than 600. So yeah, that's a bit of a kick in the teeth, but I mean, what are we going to do? We're at the mercy of the retailers. It's one of those things, vote with your wallet. Like, we have seen price drops on the Golden Tee before it even came out of the pre-order window. If people don't want to pick this up, retailers will see that they'll have to try and get rid of it, and the only way of doing that is to lower the price point. If they then see that people start to pick it up at the lower price point, then they'll know that's what people are wanting to pay for them. Hopefully that gives them an incentive to keep the price low. I would certainly pick this up if it wasn't for that major price tag. Like I say, we don't know what it's going to be over in the UK. We're only speculating based on previous information. So I think that, like, everybody loves this game. This when it came as an announcement, everyone lost it because no one thought they could do it. No one thought that they would be able to bring back MVS2. MVC2. Why do I keep saying MVS2? What's that? I don't know. It's a fantastic game and I loved playing it. Yeah, me and my mate Craig would have major fucking fights on this. He would always play as Cable and fucking Iron Man, that chip damaging little bastard that he was. Like, anytime you try to guard, your health is just getting chipped away at with fucking Unibeam. Shut up. I really hope that the emulation is as good as they want it to be. I really hope that the online is as good as Mortal Kombat 30th. They have all the elements to make this cabinet a winner. Oh, didn't point out, the BOE monitor's back on this cabinet. So we don't. People who were apprehensive about the Mortal Kombat one, yeah, it's not as bad as the Golden Tee. It's still, you still get a bit of washout from one side or the other and up or down, but it's the BOE monitor back on Marvel vs. Capcom, so we're not going to have any of those issues, which is fantastic. Then you have your online leaderboards, like it says, play online. It will have spectator mode. It will have lobbies. So they have listened. They've gone back to doing things that the way they did on Big Blue. I know that Mortal Kombat fans are so pissed at that, because why did this game get it when Mortal Kombat didn't? It's because they tried something new with Mortal Kombat. They tried to reduce the amount of development they needed and people gave off, and rightly so. It should have had those items. Now, whether that'll come from Mortal Kombat in an update, I would really hope so, because I can see them doing the lobbies and the spectator mode in the Capcom Legacy machines. I think the amount of annoyance that people got over Mortal Kombat and Killer Instinct, that they realize they have to have this as a get-go. From the start, it has to be there. It has to have spectator mode. It has to have lobbies. I mean, this is a massive game for fighting tournaments. If you didn't have the lobbies, you wouldn't be able to do the same tournaments that are happening at the moment with Big Blue and with the Marvel Superheroes cabinet. So removing that would have been just, or leaving it out would have just been completely stupid. I'm so glad they've listened to people and put it back. It's going to be really cool. So it does look like, at least from the information that we have so far and what they've shown us, it does look like all 56 characters will be unlocked from the start, which is really good. Is in the console versions, you had to, the more you played, the more you unlocked, which was a bit of a bolic. Like, I do have Marvel vs. Capcom 2 running on my Pi, but it's not the arcade version. It's the Dreamcast version. I've just got it running on the Pi, and there's no real difference. It's as simple as that. It's like the Dreamcast was running pretty much Naomi shit, so I'm not wasn't too annoyed that I couldn't get a working version of the arcade ROM. But yeah, I love the look of this cabinet. The £600 makes me take a step back and reevaluate things. Is it worth £600? No, I don't think it is. I think out there to someone that this is just going to be perfect for them. Not there's the other side out there. Hulk just staring at Zangief's ass. It's a beautiful looking cabinet, and I think it would go well in anyone's little home arcade or home bar or anything like that. It looks beautiful. I really hope they hit the mark with the emulation. I'm so pleased with it, and like, Justin Wong has been working with them to get this up and running. I know he's come out and said that there are still some teething issues, some testing that needs to happen. So we still have time. I mean, it's over just under a month before the pre-orders go live, and then we're talking October for release. So you've got, well, you probably only got a month to get things working, to get it into production, to get it out, unless they're wanting to do a day one patch, which is always awkward. But at least with the Wi-Fi enabled stuff, it's easier to do, as long as they don't sort of fuck things up and brick cabinets. Everything here looks fantastic. You've got your 8 games, you've got your headphone jacks, light up marquee, exclusive side art panel. Well, I mean, they had to work with something. Like I said, it didn't really exist, and they don't want to do a replica of Big Blue. Big Blue's already out there. Have to do something different, have to do something unique. And I think the artwork on this works. I don't think the art on the Capcom ones do. I like what they've done with Marvel vs. Capcom. So there it is. It's out, it's freed, it's going to be coming very, very soon. I absolutely love this. If I can figure out a way of getting it, I certainly will, but it'll not be for a £600 price tag. What do you guys think? Is this something that you're interested in? Have they missed the mark on this again? What do you think of the artwork? What do you think of the 8 games that they're including? Please, I'd love to hear from you. Please let me know in the comments below, or join the Discord. That would also be great. We can have a proper conversation back and forth about it, because I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. This is only my opinion, and I could be totally wrong. This is just my nostalgia speaking, that I just have so much love for this game that I think they've done it well. But what do you guys think? I'd love to hear from you. Anyway, thanks very much for joining me today, and I will catch you soon. Have a good one. Bye for now.